30 days of learning Spanish. ¿Qué tal? I can't think of anything else. Wait, let me... Está bien. Muy bonito. So how far have I come after learning Spanish for 30 days? This is Bao from Bao the Pigeon, and today I'm teaching you a skill. So how to learn Spanish? Actually not really. How my friend and I, we are learning Spanish, and we are having a great time. So I'm guessing not very well. I have written everything down on this book, so let's get right into it. So I put on makeup and I'm back, and I don't know why, but my battery is always dying every time I want to film a video, and I think it's because I didn't check or I didn't charge after my last filming. In May 2023, I went to embark on a journey to the land of Hankook. It's the land of Korea, and so basically my very good friend Agnes, she's there. Hi Agnes. Okay, anyway, so we have always wanted to learn a language together, and we always thought what language will make us seem like very funny people. And because Spanish, the way that they speak somehow is just, I think it's a little bit more exaggerated. I mean, to us people, especially in Singapore, right, do you know how we speak every day? Yes lah. Yeah. Nah. We end our sentences with a it's like every sentence we have is like we are flatlining. So we wanted to learn a language that is cultured and have long history. So we settled on Espanol. So we decided that we are going to self-study first to cover the basics ourselves. So we actually bounced the idea of engaging a tutor who can teach both of us. But ultimately, both of us, we are trying to save a bit of money. So we want to teach ourselves the basics first. And then when we need to, when we can't self-learn any longer, we will actually hire a tutor or someone who actually can speak Spanish and to guide us in our learning. So I believe that for any language, because I used to learn Bahasa Indonesian, and my friend Agnes, she's in Korea, so before she went, she also took Korean classes. So I feel like we can both agree that the money that you pay for basics classes for a language
is actually quite wasted.
It's not very productive because you totally don't know anything. So you are just learning things that you can easily find them on the internet. You can learn yourself first. And this is where you come to me, and I will go through with you how far we have come for this
30-day journey.
Honestly, as of now, it's been 37 days.
Huh?
And but I will still tell you how much I've learned as of that 30-day mark, okay? So I'm not cheating or anything. It's just that I procrastinated for a very long time before I filmed the video, and I'm so sorry. Actually, there are many Spanish speakers in the world, okay? So we find that it is a very useful language to learn also. Last time I also learned a little bit of German on Duolingo, but because I was going to Germany and I was actually planning to live there, that dream got shattered because I got a boyfriend here in Singapore where I live. So that happened. And okay, so that was a little bit of background why we started learning this, and let's get into that later, okay? So the two free resources that we use to learn our language are number 1, Duolingo, and number 2 is EDX, which is this online platform that actually offers many free lessons. I feel this kind of platforms are actually very good if you just want to learn something, and even if you pay a little bit of money for the certification, let's say you need it for a job or something, it's actually really good. This video is not sponsored.
Sponsor me.
Okay? And the third is actually my friend Agnes. She is very resourceful, so she actually found this Spanish textbook. Agnes actually found this textbook and we both printed it out and binded it, and I actually got this nice green color. I don't know why I chose green. It's actually a bit awful.
It's actually a bit awful.
It's okay. Any color will do. It's actually very good for self-learning, and we actually set a timing where we will Zoom every week, and we will both just be running through the lessons together. So let me go into one. So this is free. If you guys want, I can just link it in the description box below. I hope there's no copyright or something. Okay, how about you private message me on Instagram and I'll send it to you, okay? But you can just find this yourself. Okay, so the first lesson, this one, is an introduction to Spanish language, and they actually have like new vocabulary. So vocabulario nuevo, okay? This is how far I've come, okay? ¿Qué tal? Libro, book. Oh yeah, and it's not está bien, it's estoy bien. I'm well. Okay, so like they will introduce like new vocabulary, and then right, you can actually they actually have like fill in the blank. So they have a lot of explanations, pronunciation, how to pronounce and everything. Personally, I didn't read any of this, and I actually learned a lot of pronunciation from Duolingo itself. So I feel like Duolingo is more of a dynamic learning tool. So it doesn't go super in depth, and Duolingo, like some people say like, oh, you can't really learn that much, but I feel it's very useful. So later I'll get right into that, okay? And but for the textbook, it actually goes into like in-depth explanations of like pronunciation and stuff. And I think this one is for learners of the South American side. So there are two kinds of Spanish. So one kind is the kind that they speak in Spain, and there's the other side which is like the South American, or is it not? South, I think. So where like Mexico is and stuff. So actually like different regions actually speak different Spanish. So if that makes sense. So I actually have a great example. So today Agnes and I, we were learning a new word. It's called, I don't remember. Okay, I remember now because I went to look at the textbook, and it's beer. So in like one of the ways that is spoken is cervecer, okay? And it's actually pronounced, okay, I'll put it here. It's actually spelled. And another way of pronouncing it is cerveza. Cerveza, okay? Cerveza. So there are different ways of pronouncing the C letter. Agnes and I, we get a bit confused sometimes. For me, I think the S sounding one is actually a lot easier. So I'm gonna go with that. And then as time goes by, hopefully I can also understand when people are saying it to me in a TH sound, okay? Yeah, that is that. And these are the 3 resources I use for learning Spanish with my friend Agnes. If possible, just get a friend to learn the language with you, and like when you guys get a little bit better, it is actually very useful if you guys can communicate in that language. There are certain details that you will pick out that she won't, and there'll be some details that she pick out that you won't. So like you can cover each other's gaps unless they are the same gap.
Find a different friend.
Okay, so what I did for 30 days is I actually set a timer for 15 minutes, and I will use that 15 minutes to practice on my Duolingo. And so when I'm walking Duffy, usually we will stop at this pet shop. And Duffy is my dog. Is that not clear? Actually, we will stop at this pet shop, and we will take usually it's about 15 to 20 minutes break. So once I read, I will set a timer, 15 minutes, and I will do the Duolingo exercises there for 15 minutes or until my hearts run out. So like they only give you 5 hearts, and you can make like maximum 5 mistakes, okay? Usually I'll try to complete the quests. Okay, so just now I also talked about EDX. So EDX as a tool is actually very good. The problem comes when I actually use it on my iPhone, and it is not very well supported on iPhone. And when I use my laptop, usually it's for work. Spanish for me is a little bit of a side project, but it's not very important. Not important for me to actually spend time on my laptop for it. So the fact that it is not well supported on iPhone is a big disadvantage for me. So they have like videos, and it's just telling you how to pronounce certain things, and you are supposed to pronounce it back. But like that function is actually not supported on iPhone. I'm not sure about Android. So end up like I'm just giving big exercises. Like I just don't feel that is what I want in an app. So it ended up like I'm just using Duolingo like a lot. So as for the weekly check-in with my friend Agnes, up till 30 days, I was actually learning Unit 4 with her. So basically 1 week is 1 unit, you know. So definitely I'm not fluent in the language. But so what I've learned from Duolingo, I'm able to greet people. Hola, ¿qué tal? And then I'm able to respond like estoy bien. And the second part is I'm able to get a around a city. So get around a city is like you ask like where is the toilet? So donde está el baño? Okay, and or like donde está el tienda or like some name, you know, a place. So donde está is just where is the, and then I'm able to order food and drinks. So this is where I feel like Duolingo is very useful if like you want to travel to that particular place, cause they actually, I mean, order food and drinks getting around the city. Normally you ask like where is it and where am I or where is this particular place, and these are very useful phrases. So usually they teach you the very useful things before they get more in depth into the grammar and stuff. So ordering food and drinks, yo quiero una ensalada. So they always use ensalada or like apples, manzana. And number 4 is to describe your family. So mi familia es grande. Mi familia es interesante. ¿Tú tienes una hermana? Do you have a sister? Okay, so simple things like that. Okay, and 5 is I'm able to shop for clothes. So this part I'm not very good. Like they teach you like what is a purse, like cartera, or dress, vestido, verde, green, rojo, red, azul, blue. This part is I'm not very good. So Duolingo is actually designed to be very easy to learn, but I still have difficulty with the tenses. So like if I say like tú tienes, it has the S at the sound at the end, and if I say like he or she, so L or like ella, so it's like ella tiene, it's not supposed to have an S. And then if I say yo tien,
It's another word altogether, see?
so it's like yo tengo, and like it's different. So like tienes, tengo, tiene is all like have. Yeah, I think it's have. So it's like I have something, or do you have something? Does she have something? So it really can get a little bit difficult. The tenses are what is gonna kill us. So like in English, we just have to add an S, we add an ing, and for them they may have to remove like the last letter and then add like amos to the end. So I actually learned more of this in the textbook. So this is where the textbook actually comes in very handy. The last week one, we actually learned that, you know, like there's also tenses used for like us. So in Duolingo, we always learn like me, or like you, or like she, or he. And then there's this textbook, it will teach us that us is nosotros. So nosotros, yes, another like ends, which you have to add like amos to the end. And okay, I won't go too in depth, but so this textbook is actually a very good supplementary material. If you can find some kind of textbook, it will be very good for your self-study. Personally, I'm very lazy, so I actually didn't read like the many words here, but you see I wrote some notes. Not sure if you can see. I wrote some notes, okay? So I'm actually quite a student. El estudiante, okay? Like a very good student, okay? Okay, but there are times when, you know, I have done like the things here and I actually didn't mark. So that was the point. Do I even know that I'm wrong? So like I said at the start, there's also differences in like Mexican or like South America Spanish and also like Spain Spanish. Usted, so like you, actually can be very difficult to. So usted in general is actually like a formal way of saying like you. So when you want to talk to your teacher, you are like usted, okay? Don't say like tú, because tú is actually very informal. You usually use it for your friends. This is where Duolingo, it actually also confused the shit out of me, okay? So was saying that some places usted is also used for friends. So I'm just like, wait, I'm so confused now. So like I took that piece of info and I threw it out the window because why? It's not serving me right now. Okay, so there's no need to like know all about usted. Why are you guys telling me
So early.
And then one thing that I need to let you know is that I can't roll my R's. So like you know, most Spanish speakers, they're able to roll their R, and I can't. I actually went to not Google search, like search on YouTube how to roll R, and like the people who are teaching, they already know how to roll their R, so like you never had difficulty with it, so how come you are teaching us? You know, like I want someone who actually had difficulty rolling his or her R's, and then like you teach us the correct way, please, because we actually require a lot more practice for some people. Like the tongue length, I believe actually plays a part in this. Okay, I mean my personal view. Okay, so my tongue is like shorter, like I believe like my tongue length is that kind that, you know, they will be like, no, please don't pierce your tongue, okay? If you pierce it, it may be gone forever. You know why? It's like all we can see is the start and there's no tongue left, okay? So my tongue is a little bit shorter. So I think this is why like I can't roll my R's, even though I have been trying for very, very long since the start of learning Spanish. Yeah, it's not very long at all. Okay, so I have always been able to pronounce 3, but I haven't been able to pronounce like so there's that vibration thing that like you have to actually practice, and I'm still working on it. So like okay, yeah, I'll let you guys know how it goes. Okay, so like a video won't be complete if I don't recommend a book. So what do I think is the best way to learn a language? What do you think? Okay, well, there's no better and faster way than to fly to that country and then pretend you don't speak English and then just try your best to speak in that particular language. This is after you learn a little bit of the basics first. So you know like this, that, where, that kind of simple things first. Then you can just like ask random things and then you have to point. Like this one, how much, you know. End up like, if you immerse yourself in that particular culture, you can actually learn that language very fast. Okay, so this is a tip from a book that I've listened to. It's called Ultra Learning. I'll put it right here, by Scott Young. And when I read the book, I was so inspired. Okay, so this dude actually, in 1 year, he actually traveled to 4 different places that speak 4 different languages, and I think more or less he became like kind of fluent in it. So he took 3 months for each country to learn their language, and I think at the end of it, he did say that he wasn't that fluent. I think it was Korea that, or is it Chinese? I can't remember. He ended up not being very fluent in. But I think if he had stayed there like even 6 months, you know, that is so fast in learning a language. It's like in 1 month, even like Duolingo, when it speaks to me in like Spanish, you know, I have to replay it like 3 to 4 times. I can't even hear what the shit they are saying, okay? I think when you are in a country, you actually learn to like really quickly capture. Your brain is like, oh my goodness, if I don't get this, I am gonna look stupid, and like stupid is worse than dying, okay? Then you will be like, okay, your brain will be like, what did that person just say? And through that, you actually learn. So, but of course, this takes a lot of guts, I feel. So like 1 month is definitely not enough, and if possible, like I also love to fly to like somewhere that speaks Spanish. I'm not sure if I want to learn that in Spain, you know, it's kind of far. Actually, US is also very far from me. And it's unlikely that I will do that with Agnes. But I have to say that if you want to know the fastest way to learn a language, that will be it. I believe when you don't speak a language at all and you want to learn it from scratch, right? It can take, I think, like many years, depending on your effort. I guess honestly, learning a language, it can be a lifelong process. And if you really want to make it faster, definitely read a book. Or like immerse yourself in that culture, okay? Or ask someone who actually knows how to speak the language to only speak to you in that language, okay? Are we good? Yep, so we've come to the end of the video, and if you like this video, please give me a like, okay? And then I will know that you guys like this video, and if you like me, you can subscribe, okay? I am very into learning random new things, so you know, you can learn a thing or two, so you can call me Teacher Pao, okay? Good student. Do you write down all the notes that I've just said? Good. Okay. Anyway, so I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye! I hope no one uses this for porn. Like some kind of like, you steal my image and then you put it out on some porn site. Please don't do that, okay? Like, I'm just showing you how short my tongue is, okay?